Hello and welcome back. It is now a beautiful April 20th out here. We had plus temperatures overnight and things are looking real nice out here. If there wasn't still a little bit of snow in the ditches, you'd think it was almost summertime out here now. We do have some really nice temperatures forecast in the next couple days. Hopefully we can get some stuff done before it closes down. It looks like winter again towards the end of the week. So we'll see how that pans out, but let's see what's going on today. With the last couple of warm days, let's take a look at what those soil temperatures are. So here on the surface this morning, air temperature right now is about 6 degrees. We're about 10 degrees here in the sun, so that's pretty good. Let's take a look, scrape down to about 1 inch here. See, we've got some active worms there. Oh, 2.5, so a little cooler there. Scrape a little farther down. Okay, we're at about 2 inches there. Yeah, about the same, 2.5 degrees. So still a little cold after that, those cold temperatures we had there, Thursday, Friday, where we were minus 10 and stuff overnight. Those temperatures are still on their way up and recovering, it looks like. Also in this field, you can see all this fluffy stuff here on the surface. This is all foxtail seed that's blown in out of that saline area here last fall. Some of it is just starting to germinate. You can see a few skinny little greenish, bluish leaves here and there. So if we, probably we're not going to be seeding this field for a week, maybe 2 yet. So at that time, we should probably be able to get in here and take care of most of it with a pre-burn. But these really skinny, small leaves are going to be extremely hard targets to hit. So make sure you're using adjuvant in your spray tank to try to get the best contact possible. This canola stubble is an old alfalfa field, and we still have a few patches of alfalfa here. So you can see we got some skeletons from them here. You can see we've got some alfalfa breaking dormancy down here. As a side note, it looks like it's being attacked by alfalfa weevils here already. Oh, right there, there's a weevil. I don't know if I can zoom in on him enough there. Of course, now he's gonna hide in the canola straw. But yeah, keep an eye out for those guys. If they're out already, the pea weevils are too, it's guaranteed. There's also some sandfoin in this field, right here. So here we have some sandfoin. You can see the difference in the leaf structure between it and the alfalfa. You'll also note that it is not being eaten by the alfalfa weevil like the alfalfa is, so that's interesting to see. So this field is going into wheat, so we're going to be doing 878 in here, which is going to have a pretty strong shot of dicamba in there, which is really going to help us get some of these perennial weeds under control, as well as we're going to be raising the glyphosate rate in this field and making sure we have adjuvants in there like crimson to get the best control we possibly can. Well, it's Tuesday now and it stayed very warm overnight. It must have been close to 10 degrees overnight. So soil temperature is rapidly rising and we are seeing germination of some little warmer season weeds. This here is Russian thistle. Russian thistle likes warmer soil temperatures than kochia to germinate, and it's just starting to come up here this week really. So interesting to see that guy going. Not necessarily a nice thing either. Some of my first barley is going in up by Carmen Gay, so time to start checking behind the drill, making sure seed placement is looking okay. This is relatively sandy ground here. This is usually the first field to dry out and show drought situation, throughout the year. So it's good to get this one early while we still have some moisture in the ground, as long as we can get it seeded deep enough that the moisture doesn't leave us. We should have no problem being in the moisture. There's very good seed row moisture right now with last week's snow in this area, where there was actually a pretty decent coverage in this area. There's still a little bit of snow in the ditch. Definitely better than south of Lethbridge. Okay, so here we go. There's the top of the seed row there. So there we're a good, inch or so deep, maybe 1.25 inches. So that's looking not too bad. Shouldn't have any problem getting germination. Once we get a couple warm days in here, this seed is going to pop pretty quick. Well, if you got a field that has an edge that looks like this, it's going into wheat or something like that with all this kochia starting to come up wherever the soil is bare, then there is a few new pre-burn products that are going to be a good fit for this year for kochia control, and that would be things like Husky Pre or Evario from FMC. Now the FMC product is a group 2714, so it has a little bit of a different mode of control. The Husky Pre is kind of a more traditional group 27 and 6. Either way, I would say if you're using a group 27 for pre-burn, you'll probably get excellent control on emerged kochia like this. Usually 27 and a 6 is absolutely dynamite on kochia, as long as it's small. But if we're using that for pre-burn, we should probably make sure we're using a different group for in-crop, whether that means you're stuck with 4s or not. Probably shouldn't be doubling up on the group 27s. Well, it's nice to see a harrow running out there this spring. You know, now kochia is resistant to most of our in-crop herbicides to some degree or another. One thing it is not resistant to is iron. And when kochia is really small in that cotyledon stage and, you know, seedling size, harrow does a very good job at uprooting it, although it won't do a whole lot on any sort of established biennial like dandelions or foxtail or anything like that. But just newly emerged seedlings does an excellent job. With the warmer weather the last few days, some of these weeds are growing real fast. These winter annuals like this flicksweed getting pretty big pretty fast. You can see it's actually starting to form a stem down here, so probably only a matter of a week or so before it starts trying to put out flowers. You know, here's a little bit smaller one here yet, but there's lots of them throughout a few fields, as well as, you know, some stinkweed and some sow thistles that are coming up as well. I've actually had a lot of pictures and questions from customers and coworkers alike about weeds like this year. So at a quick glance, you'd kind of think it's stinkweed, but sometimes it'll have a little bit more of a purplish color to the leaves. But this is actually, it's a type of sow thistle. And you can tell that in the way that if you rip a leaf off, a sow thistle will have that latex sap will come out of it. You can see maybe on this one here that I did just a few seconds earlier, there's a little bit of milky white latex that has come out of it. If it is stinkweed, you will not have that. And also, if you chew on the leaf, stinkweed should be relatively obvious because it's going to taste like mustard and horseradish. It might actually be more obvious if you pull it up and tear the root. You can see that root is pushing out some milky sap there. Hopefully I can keep my camera in focus. So that's a really good way to tell the difference between that and stinkweed. Oh, I've lost focus. There we go. Here's a proper example of stinkweed. You can see that leaf shape is a little bit different, with the leaves kind of getting more narrow towards the base rather than staying wide like that sow thistle. Also, if you were to pull this up, break off that root, you're not going to see any of that sticky white latex come out. The mustard family is not going to have that. It's just going to be a clear fluid, if anything at all. So it's a really good way to tell the difference between those two early in the season. This week there's also a noticeable increase in the amount of volunteer canola that is coming up in the last couple days. You can see all this is all cotyledon stage, so it's probably just emerged since the weekend here. So there's going to be lots more of this in the next week or so after we get some more moisture and temperatures warm up again. Looks like we have some clouds on the way as forecasted. If you watched Drew Lerner's presentation last week, you'll know this band of precipitation is supposed to come through the next couple days here. Is basically the last moisture he's predicting for spring, aside from maybe some thunderstorms. So it would be good to get some good broad moisture across the area and then get our seed in the ground as quick as we can after that, while we still have moisture, just in case that he is right and we have very little for any precipitation after that. Oh, windy Thursday morning out here, and so far the moisture event has turned out to be pretty much almost nothing in this area. I think we maybe got a millimeter or two last night, getting up to about a quarter of an inch up against the foothills, and I'm not sure about south and north, but it is what it is. There is snow in the forecast the next couple days now, so we'll see what that brings us. But yeah, a lot cooler today with a high of like 5 degrees. It's currently 1. You can actually see a little bit of a frost effect in some of the fall rye like this. You can see what happened was that weather last weekend, all the snow and the cold has basically burned off some of these leaf tips, so they're just yellow. Overall, it's going to slow the rye down maybe a little bit, but it's not really going to hold it back. It'll grow through this just fine. Hopefully it doesn't get the same again this weekend. Here we have another interesting weed. You can see the skeleton from last year with kind of that characteristic reddish orange color, and the new growth here being nice and green. You can see these leaves are all kind of curled and funny looking. That's pretty normal. That's just how they grow. It's why it's called curled dock, in case you didn't know. So it's actually a member of the buckwheat family. It's usually not a problem in fields. It prefers low wet spots like this, and usually, you know, you see it around some pivot points and stuff like that, but really not a very common weed out in fields. Well, it's a really windy Friday out here and much, much cooler, only 0 degrees and just starting to snow. Can't record any audio outside, just too windy. So far, it seems like all the moisture has been going to the east of us through Medicine Hat and Saskatchewan area. We've gotten basically nothing worthwhile here this week so far, but who knows, maybe that will change later today or this weekend. But for now, that'll be it, and we'll see you next week.